Don't bother coming home for party, Emma. Your room is Sarah's nursery now. She needs the space more than you do. My mother's text glowed on my phone screen as I sat in my Tokyo apartment, still processing what I just read. Below was a photo of my childhood room, now transformed into a pastel-colored nursery, all traces of my existence erased. I'm Emma Chin, 29, working as a software engineer in Japan. For the past 3 years, I've been secretly paying my parents' mortgage and utilities after my dad lost his job. Every month, $3,000 transferred from my account to theirs, labeled as family support. Money they assumed came from some mysterious government assistance program. My sister Sarah, golden child and eternal favorite, had moved back home with her husband last month after announcing her pregnancy. I should have seen this coming. Another text buzzed through. Sarah says the stress of having you visit might affect the baby. We think it's best if you stay in Japan for now. I stared at my banking app, at the recurring transfer set for tomorrow. 3 years of supporting them, of calling every weekend, of sending care packages from Japan. 3 years of them never once visiting me, always having an excuse. Flights are too expensive, they'd say, not knowing I'd offered to pay multiple times. My hands shook as I dialed my best friend Kate's number. She answered on the second ring. They did what? Kate's voice crackled through the speaker. After everything you've done for them? Apparently, I'm bad for the baby's energy, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. They didn't even ask. Just decided my room, my childhood, my home wasn't mine anymore. Please tell me you're canceling those transfers, Kate said. They don't deserve your help. I looked at the photo again. The walls my dad and I had painted blue together when I was 12 were now a soft pink. The window seat where I'd spent countless hours reading was covered in stuffed animals. Even the small dent in the wall from when I'd accidentally thrown my algebra textbook was plastered over, like I'd never existed. It's not that simple, I sighed. If I stop paying, they could lose the house. Sarah's having a baby. A baby that you're apparently not allowed to visit, Kate cut in. Emma, they're using you. They have been for years. She was right, this wasn't the first time I'd been pushed aside for Sarah. When I got accepted to MIT with a partial scholarship, they couldn't afford to help with tuition. But when Sarah wanted to attend community college 2 years later, they somehow found the money. When I landed my first job in Tokyo, they barely acknowledged it. When Sarah got hired as a part-time yoga instructor, they threw a party. My phone buzzed again. This time it was my father. Your mother's right. Sarah needs stability right now. Maybe you can visit next year once the baby's settled. Next year. Always next year. Always an excuse. I opened my laptop, logging into my bank account. 3 years of transfers stared back at me. $108,000 in total, not counting the extra I'd sent for holidays and emergencies. Money they'd never questioned, never truly appreciated. Then I saw it, the mortgage statement. I'd been making payments through an automatic system, but I'd never actually looked at the remaining balance. The number made me catch my breath. Kate, I said slowly, I need to call you back. I spent the next hour doing calculations, checking my savings, looking at property records. By the time I finished, a plan was forming. A plan that would make them realize exactly what they were throwing away. My phone buzzed one more time. Sarah, this time. Mom told you about the nursery, right? Don't make this difficult, sis. My baby needs a proper room, and it's not like you're using it. Besides, you're never here anyway. I thought about all the times I'd wanted to be there but couldn't because I was working extra hours to support them. All the holidays I'd missed because the money I could have spent on flights went to their bills instead. Opening my banking app one last time, I looked at tomorrow's scheduled transfer. My finger hovered over the cancel button, but that wasn't enough. No, they needed to understand exactly what they were losing. I picked up my phone and called my bank's international service line. It was time to show my family exactly what their reliable, invisible daughter was capable of. They thought they were taking my room. They had no idea what I was about to take from them. Hello, I said when the banker answered. I'd like to discuss paying off a mortgage in full. Yes, I'll hold. The next morning, I woke up to more texts from my family. My mother had sent photos of Sarah arranging baby clothes in my old closet. Look how perfect this space is for the baby. Sarah has such an eye for design. I didn't respond. Instead, I focused on executing my plan. First, I called my company's HR department to cash out some of my stock options. Then I contacted a real estate lawyer in my hometown. Yes, I can pay off the entire mortgage, I explained to the lawyer, but I want my name on the deed. Can we do this without alerting the current owners? The lawyer explained that since I'd been making all the payments and could prove it, we had options. By the end of the call, everything was in motion. My phone kept buzzing with messages from Sarah. Mom says you're being weird about the nursery. Don't be selfish, Emma. You're already living your dream life in Japan, while I'm stuck here in a small town. Stuck there? They'd remodeled my room before her husband's moving truck was even unpacked. This wasn't about being stuck. This was about taking what was mine, just like they always did. Kate called during my lunch break. Please tell me you're not still sending them money. Actually, I said, I'm doing something better. Remember how they never questioned where that monthly support came from? Yeah, that was weird. Your dad lost his job, suddenly money appears, and they just accepted it. They thought it was government assistance, never bothered to ask me about it, never even tried to look into it, just took the money and kept favoring Sarah. So what are you going to do? I smiled, looking at the email from my lawyer. I'm going to show them exactly who's been supporting them all this time. That evening, my father sent a message that made my blood boil. Emma, your mother tells me you're not responding to her texts. Don't be difficult. Sarah needs our support right now. You understand, don't you? You've always been the independent one. Independent. That's what they called it when they left me to figure things out on my own. When they chose not to help with college. When they forgot my birthdays but threw elaborate parties for Sarah. When they took my room without even asking. I opened my laptop and typed out an email. Dear Mom and Dad, for the past 3 years, I've been paying your mortgage and utilities. That money didn't come from the government, it came from me. Every month, $3,000 of my salary went to keeping you comfortable. I've paid off the remaining mortgage balance in full. Check your mail tomorrow for documents from the lawyer. Also, since you've decided I'm no longer welcome in my childhood home, I've made arrangements for the property's future. After all, it's partly mine now. Love, Emma. I hit send before I could second-guess myself. Within minutes, my phone exploded with notifications. Ma, what do you mean you've been paying our mortgage? Dad, this isn't funny, Emma. Sarah, are you trying to make this about you? Typical. I silenced my phone and went to bed, knowing tomorrow would bring the storm. The next morning, my lawyer confirmed that everything was proceeding as planned. The mortgage had been paid off, and my name would be added to the property deed. I had effectively bought half of my childhood home. Around noon my time, I got the call I'd been expecting. Emma, my mother's voice was shrill. What is the meaning of this? These papers say you've paid off our mortgage. Yes, I replied calmly. I've been paying it for 3 years. Surprise. But why didn't you tell us? Would it have made a difference? Would you have treated me any differently? Or would Sarah still be more important? Silence on the other end. The lawyer will explain everything, I continued. But here's what you need to know. I own half of that house now. So the next time you decide to erase me from it, remember who kept you from losing it in the first place. You can't do this, my mother whispered. Actually, I can, and I did. Tell Sarah to enjoy the nursery. I'm sure it will look lovely in the photos of the house when I decide to sell my share. I hung up, hands shaking but head held high. For the first time in my life, I had real power in this relationship. They couldn't ignore me anymore. My phone started ringing again. Sarah this time. I let it go to voicemail. Whatever she had to say could wait. I had a meeting with a real estate agent to discuss my options for the property. Kate texted. How did it go? Phase 1 complete, I replied. Want to help me with Phase 2? There's a Phase 2. Oh yes, I typed, smiling. They're about to learn exactly what their independent daughter is capable of. 3 days after my revelation, the family dynamic shifted dramatically. My parents stopped texting about Sarah's nursery and started sending desperate messages about talking things through. Sarah's husband called twice, probably realizing their rent-free living arrangement was in jeopardy. I let them stew. Kate helped me initiate Phase 2. I hired a property assessor to evaluate the house's market value. When the report arrived, I forwarded it to my family with one line. Interesting how much half a house is worth these days. My mother called immediately. Emma, please, We need to discuss this like adults. Like adults? I laughed. You mean like how you adults discuss taking my room? Or how you adultly handled telling me not to come home? We were just trying to help your sister. No, I cut in. You were doing what you always do, putting Sarah first and expecting me to accept it. But this time, it's going to cost you. That evening, my father sent a lengthy email. He admitted they'd taken me for granted, explained how embarrassed they were about accepting money without questioning its source, and begged me to reconsider selling my share. I replied with 3 conditions. My room stays mine. Sarah can use the guest room for the nursery. A formal apology from everyone, acknowledging how they've treated me. Family counseling. All of us, including Sarah. And if we agree, my father wrote back, then I'll consider keeping my share of the house. But one more incident of choosing Sarah over me, and it goes on the market. Sarah called next morning, her voice unusually subdued. I didn't know you were the one supporting us, she said quietly. Why didn't you tell me? Would it have mattered? You've spent our entire lives taking things from me, Sarah. My room was just the latest example. She was quiet for a moment. I'm sorry, Emma. I really am. I never saw it from your side before. Well, now you have to, because your comfortable life in my old room. It depends on my goodwill now. The next week, my parents converted the guest room into a nursery. They sent photos of my room being restored, exactly as I'd left it. My mother even found my old blue paint to fix the walls. Family counseling started over video calls. It was awkward at first, but slowly, truths began emerging. Sarah admitted feeling pressured to live up to their favoritism. My parents confronted their bias. I shared years of hurt and resentment. A month later, I flew home for the first time in years. The house felt different, not just because my room was mine again, but because the power dynamic had shifted. They couldn't ignore me anymore. They couldn't dismiss my feelings or my contributions. Sarah met me at the airport, her pregnancy showing. I saved your favorite coffee shop's loyalty card, she said, handing me the worn paper card. Been adding points to it whenever I could, thought maybe we could go there together. It was a small gesture, but it felt like a start. At home, my mother had prepared my favorite meal, not Sarah's. My father showed me the new house documents, my name clearly listed as co-owner. The nursery in the guest room was beautiful, and Sarah seemed genuinely happy with it. That night, lying in my own bed, in my own room, I received a group text from my family. Mom, we're so sorry it took such drastic measures for us to see our mistakes. Dad, we're proud of you, Emma, not just for your success, but for standing up for yourself. Sarah, I love you, sis. Thanks for giving us a chance to make things right. I smiled, typing back, love you too. All of you. Let's make it count this time. 6 months later, I became an aunt to a beautiful niece. They named her Emma, after her strong, successful aunt. I fly home regularly now, and they visit me in Japan. Sarah and I have weekly sister dates over video chat. My parents call just to check on me, not to ask for money or dismiss my feelings. Sometimes it takes losing everything to appreciate what you had. In my family's case, it took almost losing their house to realize they were losing their daughter. But in the end, we didn't just save the house, we saved our family. And my room, it's still blue, still mine, and now has a perfect view of my niece's nursery across the hall. Exactly how it should have been from the start.